Good morning, everyone! This is Marla Perkstein with your news, interviews, and wake-up call for the day. Today we have a very, very special guest with us who's written a very, very exciting book about how Jesus is coming back soon. Real soon, like right now. Well, next week anyway. I guess I'd better cancel my manicure. No, I'm sorry. Here's our very, very special guest, Mr. Edgar Whisenant, author of 88 Reasons Why the Rapture is going to Happen in 1988.
My name's Whisenant, not Whizbang.
Oh, I'm so spaced out this morning. So, tell us, why do you think Jesus is going to rapture us all next week, Mr. Whizbang?
Well, Marla, as you know, I have a past career as an engineer, so I'm an expert at math. What I've done is come up with a series of calculations that will prove that Jesus will return on Rosh Hashanah, September 1988.
Oh my, this is just so exciting. I can't wait for that to happen. Well, everyone, we need to take a commercial break, but when we return, we'll be asking Mr. Whizbang all about his calculations.
And cut for a commercial.
Crud, I hate doing these red-eye productions. I'll be right back, kid. I need some caffeine.
We made it. August 1988. You take care of the host, sweetie. I'll take care of that toad in the chair over there.
What? Now see here, who do you think—
Shut up.
Hey, what in the world's going on here?
We're on in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hello, folks. My name's James Patrick Holding. I'm a Christian apologist from the year 2013. I'm here to tell you about why you should ignore this fraud. Obviously, the main reason is, I just came from 2013, and let me tell you, there sure wasn't no rapture in 1988. In fact, this fraud had to issue a second book in 1989 explaining why he was wrong, and it all went downhill from there as he kept issuing books all the way through 1997 making the same predictions.
Now wait a moment. Do you really expect anyone to believe you're from 2013?
You ask me that when you've got suckers out there believing the rapture is going to happen in a week? Fair question, though. I'm going to present a case against the Toad's math circus without appealing to my own testimony. You have 88 supposed reasons why the so-called rapture is going to take place in a week or so, right?
Well, yeah, that's why I titled my book 88 Reasons.
Yeah, well, I notice a whole lot of those 88 aren't actually reasons. A whole bunch of them are just you assuming your predictions are correct, then going on to use what you suppose will happen as a validation.
What do you mean?
Like reason number 6, for example. In that one, you assume that the rapture is to be timed with the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. Based on the assumption that you are correct about that, you go on to equate the next feast of the calendar, Yom Kippur, with the day the Antichrist signs a 7-year peace pact with Israel. In other words, you assume what you want to prove in order to prove something else.
Well,
And then there's reason number 60, where you use this biblical 70-year calculation of a human lifespan to argue that Soviet communism will die on October 3rd, 1988, when World War III starts. Not only is that an invalid application of a human lifespan to a political movement, it also ignores the manifestations of communism in other countries like China and Cuba. And as I said, you just assume what you want to prove in order to prove something else.
Well, now
Then you gave a bunch of overstated hyperbole, like where you try to validate a near rapture by supposing that 1 Thessalonians 5:3 was being fulfilled right now.
Well, yes. That verse says that people will say peace and safety when destruction will come on suddenly. That's clearly expressed in events like Hands Across America and worldwide peace rallies that were held in 1987.
No, it's not. 1 Thessalonians 5:3 has people declaring peace and safety has occurred. Peace rallies demonstrate for peace because of the perceived lack of peace, not because peace currently exists. If anything, you should have seen those rallies as disconfirmation of your thesis of an imminent rapture. On top of that, using Hands Across America is pretty dicey, because that was an effort for combating hunger and homelessness, not war.
Now wait a minute. You might be able to explain some of my reasons that way, but you can't escape the strong mathematical arguments I gave, like the ones in Reasons 31 through 34.
Such as?
Such as there being exactly 430 sabbaticals between David being crowned king of Israel and the year 1988. God uses numbers in significant ways, you know.
Yeah, and frauds like you use confirmation bias to make numbers mean things they don't. Basically, Edgar, you cherry-picked events based on their numerical matches. Why select David's crowning or Abraham's death? Why not David's death or Abraham's first meeting with God? You had literally thousands of significant biblical events to choose from, as well as a few different chronological periods you could have used. Calendar years, lunar months, sabbaticals. That makes it pretty easy to work up a handful of profitable combinations.
But...
And that's just some of your more credible activity. Some of that stuff is downright loony, like appealing to Ron Wyatt finding the Ark of the Covenant. Heck, he died in 1999 and there was still no Ark of the Covenant from him.
Oh yeah? Well, what about the fact that modern Israel was born on May 14, 1948, and America, a spiritual Israel, was born in the mind of God on May 14, 1787?
Oh please, Edgar, that's just you using illicit terminology to force a match. America wasn't born in the mind of God on that date. That was the date of the meeting of the Constitutional Convention. In that, you're no better than atheists who call what happened to Osiris a resurrection. If you're going to be that way, why not also appeal to May 14th, 1955, when the Warsaw Pact was born? Or May 14th, 1973, when Skylab was launched and the American space program conceived of a plan which would lead to the space shuttle? Or let's really strain and appeal to May 14th, 1944 as the day George Lucas was born.
Okay, time for commercial.
Well, that pretty well blows your whole sorry case out of the water, Edgar. I just wish people could have sued you for false teaching after the fact. See you around.
We're on again in 5, 4, 3, 2.
We're back, everyone! Now it's time for our next guest who's going to show us 35 fun ways to make origami duckies. Isn't that exciting?